Good morning, students. Today I have decided to discuss about the housing system in poultry and what kind of that housing facilities we can provide for the poultry birds. And we'll discuss the basic principles and basic that the amenities those who are required for formation of housing for poultry birds. So the learning outcome of this particular topic is that we will learn about the principle and type of housing in poultry and space requirement those who are being recommended for the poultry bird that will be the final outcome of this particular lecture. So now let us have a little bit that primary information about the poultry birds. As we know that the poultry birds generally which we have in our society or in the business of the poultry farming, they came from the family of Phasianidae, and under which we have two type of birds. As we know that the birds, the business of poultry is being divided among three four category. Out of that, the actual farming is about layer farming and the broiler farming. Layer farming is that when we have an intent to have a egg production, this is the prime objective of the business. Whereas in the broiler farming, we know that the birds kept for the chicken purpose. So these are the two generally the form of farming. And third one generally which we have the backyard poultry that generally we have in rural area where the people they are keeping not more than 50 birds at their home, and for their domestic need they are keeping these birds. They utilize their eggs, and if the population increases they also use these birds as a chicken purpose. So that kind of that system we are having in our country, and worldwide this system being followed by everywhere. So but the intentions are very clear that the birds, those who are kept for the broilers, they are like that. They came under the category of the Japanese quails, under which we have a two type of breeds. Those who are the two type of species. Those they are thoroughly available in entire country. Number one, the Karchumik, and the second one is Japonica, Karchumik japonica. And then the fowl generally the Gallus domesticus and the Gallus. These are the two that is the zoological name of these birds. Those we are having in the poultry farm in the form of the either in the form of the layers or in the form of the broilers. Then we have turkey birds, and although these birds are not that much popular in our country, but in Middle East, we'll find that the people, those who are very much preferring the chicken of these ducks, they came from the family of Maligrididae, and the Maligrias, the Galopava is the scientific name of these birds. Then the third one is those who are people, those who are keeping them for egg and for sometimes for demonstrative or sometimes the ornamental that kind of poultry is that under which we people keep the ducks. They came from the family Anatidae and Anas platyrincus is the zoological name of this particular class. So these are few birds those we are generally having domestication elsewhere in the world. Now let us have a first that why we have a poultry house, why there is a need, why we required poultry house. So there are certain things, certain situations. That's why we have to keep poultry inside the house to protect birds from adverse climatic conditions. Yes, this is the prime that important thing. If we will not protect the bird, then through via because of the climatic changes, we know that sometimes there is a heavy raining, sometimes there is a cold, sometimes there is a rise in temperature in summer. So to protect the birds from all these natural hazard, we have to build the poultry house. And the second, to ensure easy and economic operation. Yes, it will not keep bird inside the proper housing, then how we can manage all the operation, how we can control the feeding, how we can water them, how we can treat them, how we can vaccinate them. So that's why we required a particular restricted zone to whom we are calling the poultry housing to 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 ensure the easy operations, easy economic operations. Otherwise, it will be not possible. If we'll allow free range, then how we can have all the all the all the economic activities those who are being required. for fulfill, how we can collect the egg even if we are doing the layer business. So we have to ensure that because the business is very clear that either we are keeping the birds for the chicken purpose or we are keeping the birds for the for the egg purpose. So if we will not protect them in a proper housing, then how we will collect the egg? How we can ensure that the egg should not be damaged by the birds itself, or sometimes from the external factor, those who are interested in the in the egg of the birds. Then to ensure scientific feeding in controlled manner, yes, because we know in the case of the broilers, we provide very controlled feeding. For example, initially we know that in the brooder house, when we keep the birds at least for 3 4 weeks, that is the time which is very important. For broilers, we have to have a separate feed, and for the layers, we have to have a different type of that feed, which is required the different type of that the combinations, because in broilers we have a very much clarity in our mind that as because we know that after 6 to 7 weeks of period, the birds will attain the highest body weight. So that is our purpose, that we allow birds to to consume feed as much as they can. So that's why sometimes in broiler house we give the provision of 24 hours lighting. So we will allow them to take as many as much as they can consume. But in the case of the layers, that is a different thing. So all these things we can control only through the protected house if we are having, to facilitate proper microclimatic condition in near vicinity of birds. Yes, if we, because we know that the birds, they are very much comfortable in between the room, in between the 5 to 10 degree temperature of room temperature. It means they can afford up to 30 to 35 degrees centigrade temperature from upper side, and then they are very much comfortable in 15 to 16 degree temperature. So these are, if the temperature goes risen above 35 degrees centigrade or go downwards below 15 degrees centigrade, then there will be the little bit problem. So to ensure that facilitate proper microclimatic condition in a near vicinity of birds, we know that in brooder house, we know that the birds, those who are being just we have received from the hatchery, what kind of temperature and humidity we have to ensure at least for first week and then second week. So like that we have to we know that when the birds came from the hatchery, it's about 91 or 92 degree that Fahrenheit is there. But when we kept them inside the brooder, then we require 85 degrees centigrade, 85 degree Fahrenheit temperature. Then we reduce further up to 80 degree. So that kind of that environment, the temperature control we can have only if we have the proper housing, and we can impose the microclimatic conditions, those who are being required for the proper growth and development of the chicks. For effective disease control measures, yes, if we don't house the birds in proper housing, then how we control the diseases, how we can vaccinate them, because we have no control on the birds. So that's why for that purpose we required the proper housing. Then to ensure proper supervision, yes, of course, this is the prime objective, that how we can have a proper supervision of the birds. If we not assess the pace of their growth and development, then how we can have the supervision, and how we can achieve our objective of doing the domestication of these birds, because we have very we have two objectives. That first one is, if we are keeping the birds for the meat purpose or for the chicken purpose, then our objective is very clear, that we want that they should attain the weight as much as they can within 6 to 7 weeks of time. So that's why we are allowing them that ad lib feed consumptions, and we ensure that they should follow this thing practically. So that we can supervise these things only if we have proper housing. And in the case of the layers, definitely we require that the balanced growth, because we had them the controlled feed, and if we not allow, if that can be only possible in the situation where we have a controlled house, when we have a proper housing. Otherwise we cannot control how much they are consuming, in what way they are consuming. That can be sometimes injured in our in our to achieve our economic goal. So that is why these are the few points that we have to keep in our consideration while we are ensuring that the housing for the poultry birds. Now the first that prime thing which is the basic that selection of location at which place we can have planning for building the poultry housing. So let us have a one by one discussion on that. Poultry house should be located away from the residential and industrial area. Yes, we have to ensure this thing that the residential and we have to avoid that the poultry house the site which we select for the poultry housing, because these two things, the residential area and industrial area, both of they are having their environmental hazards. In residential area, we sometimes there are certain zoonotic disease like bird flu or IBD or sometimes the Lasota, Marex, or they can further spread into the human. So that's why to avoid that kind of situation, we have to cap poultry farm. We have to select the site for the poultry farm away from the residential area. Then the second one, the industrial area. Why we are avoiding the selection of site where we have industrial area? Because industrial area they have the disturbances, noise disturbances, which the scientific that observation they have through them. We have a clear cut that information that the industrial hazard also affecting the birds normal growth and development, and also it affect the laying capacity of the layers. So that's why we have to avoid both of these situations. The poultry house should be in a area where we don't have such type of that situation. The industrial that hub, we have to avoid that selecting the site in that area, and the residential area. So both of these things we have to avoid while we are selecting the site for the poultry birds. It should have proper that connectivity road facilities. That is very important, that we cannot select the area where we don't have that kind of connectivity, because the regular transportation facility, and there are so many other business activities those who are being performed in a decent manner only if we have a proper connectivity in which area in which site where we have a proper road connectivity. We have to choose that site for the purpose of selection of this particular site for the poultry housing. Then it should have the basic amenities like water and electricity. That this is very much required. That if we are selecting a site, if they don't have the basic amenities like light and the water supply, then we have to keep this thing in mind, that the area which we are selecting, the site which we are selecting, at least they have the facility of basic amenities. Then availability of farm laborers and relative cheaper wages. That this is also very important thing, that if we are selecting an area where we don't have that the cheaper wages and cheaper the labor availability, that should be kept in our mind, that the area we have, when we are selecting, we have to know this thing, that because for performing various poultry operations we require labors, and that labor can be only if it is not available at the cheaper price, then it will be the problem for us. So that's why when we are selecting the site, we have to keep this thing in our mind, that the area where we have a easily and the cheaper labor force availability. Then the poultry house should be located in an elevated area, and there should not be a waterlogging. That duty which is the primary requirement. That when we select the site, we have to ensure that the waterlogging in that area is not occurred. So that's why when we select this area, that's why generally we found that the poultry housing, they are in the hilly area where we don't have any industrial hazard or any residential that situation, and also not have the situation of waterlogging. So when we select the area, we have to select little bit the area which is having the heights in the geographical condition of that site. Then it should have a proper ventilation. Yes, we can't select the area where the poor ventilation that facility is there, because we know that the poultry they require in poultry housing, we require the proper ventilation to avoid so many unnecessary problems in the poultry birds, and the proper ventilated area is very much required for the normal growth and development of the of the birds. So that's why we, when we select the site, we have to keep all these things in our mind. Now, layout of poultry farm. We'll through that. I'll show that what is that. That for a small poultry farm, there is no specific that thing which is required. But for that we'll learn through the discussion. A small poultry farm does not require any special layout as it involves construction of only one house. The medium and large farm required special consideration for placement of building in the farm premises. The basic principle to be observed for layout are: layout should not allow visitors outside vehicle near the birds. The shed should be located that the fresh air passes through the brooder shed, followed by grower shed and layer shed. This prevents the spread of diseases from layer to brooder and brooder to grower. There should be a minimum distance of 50 to 100 feet between chick and grower shed, and distance between the grower and layer shed. That we have to maintain. If we are doing the business of that broilers only, then only one building is sufficient for our purpose. But if we are doing the business of layers, then we require the three that houses. First one is brooder house, then the grower house, then third one is layer house. So in between these house, at least we have to maintain 100 feet distance. So the diseases and other that problems, they are not to be transmitted through, because there are certain airborne diseases, those who are being transformed from one house to another house. So that kind of that situation, to avoid situations, that kind of the problems, those we have to face it. So we have to at least we have to maintain the proper distance of 100 feet in between the building of these houses. But in the case of the broilers, we kept only one house, and then we allowed the birds to grow up to the 6 7 weeks, and then we'll send them for the chicken purpose, and then next batch will come, and then we'll have a same procedure. So that kind of that small we have the small poultry, then we can have only we can manage with the one house, that one house construction. Otherwise, we have to build these three houses, those who are being required as per the poultry size, and as per the number of birds we are keeping. That thing we have to keep in our mind. So there should be minimum distance 50 to 100 feet between chick and grower, and that we have already discussed. The egg store room, office room, and the feed store should be located near entrance to the minimize the movement of the people around the poultry shed. That we have to keep, that these all these the administrative that construction that we have to make, that we have to build in a way like that it should be unnecessary movement of people to be avoided, because we have to build all these things just nearby to the entrance. So if the food grains that come through the trolley, we can have immediately stored in a storeroom. If it is nearby the poultry farm, then or nearby the house which we have built for the poultry, then there is a possibility of that transmission of diseases through the people. So, and that we have to, while we are building, we have to think all these things. The disposal of pit sick room should be constructed only at the extreme end of the site. That is also that where we have the disposals, when we supply the chicks directly, or sometimes we supply the chicks after supply the birds after finishing them. So that kind of the disposal of all the raw the material which we have to build the disposal, that at the end of the and it's away, it should be away from the main poultry building. That is also very much important. Now this is the example that in what way we can construct that poultry house. That is the picture we have to have that kind of clarity. Now different type of poultry houses. Let us have a first look on the different that the poultry houses, those who are required in the business of the poultry. They are like that: brooder or chick house. It is used to brood rear egg type chicks from 0 to 8 weeks of age. It means both the space requirement and everything is as per, because the size of chick is is not that much of initially. So because we have to that chick guard and everything, the temperature we have to control. That's why the brooder house, to whom we are also calling chick house, or for both we have to have the similar that type of that brooder house is required. And here we'll keep the chicks for 0 to 8 weeks, and in between the 0 to 8 weeks the feeding practice we have to adopt, that we have to have for 0 to 4 weeks we have to have a chick feeder, the layer chick, the feed, and then we have, to whom we are also calling the starter feed. And then after that we have to change in the ingredient, and that to the intent is very clear in the case of the broiler, that we have to attain the maximum, and we have to enforce the birds, they ensure that they have earned the maximum body weight. So in that case we have to change the feed, and to whom we are calling the finisher feed. So that is initially that the brooder house, which is when we receive the chicks from the hatchery. Now the grower house. The brooder house is self-sufficient for the broilers, because after that we don't require any housing for them, because we are sending them for the chicken purpose in the market. So that's it. Brooder house itself is sufficient for the purpose if we are doing poultry with the intention of the broiler farming. But when we are proceeding for the layer housing, layer business, then we have to build a grower house where we'll keep the birds from 8 weeks to 18 weeks. That is the time actually when they attain the puberty or sexual maturity. So up to that time we require the different kind of feed ingredient, because here we want that they should be very much active, and they should not attain unnecessary weight. So we select the house, we'll keep these all these arrangements. We have to feeder and water, that we have to make and ensure that they are to be for the growers itself. And that is the time when we call this time as a grower growing period. So that's why we are calling them the grower house. Now we know that there are brooder come grower house there, because if we are here unnecessary, avoid unnecessary that construction. So we'll keep that the simultaneously we'll expand that house or brooder house, and we convert it into the grower house if we have the same birds population. But and here we will keep the birds from the 0 to 18 weeks, and they will remain over there. And then the layer house, here the birds we keep for over 18 weeks of age, and now they have started giving eggs, because we know that the birds started laying at the 4 to 5 months age. So that is the time when because the entire that activity we have to kept under our control, because after the 4 5 months, that the entire that exercise which we have done, that the results started from after that. So that is the time when we have to keep the birds in a very isolated that chambers, or sometimes because in the cage system we can ensure that whenever she laid the egg, that the egg will automatically come into the egg tray. Because if we'll allow them the deep litter system or like that, then they are the traditional system actually. But the losses of this system is that when she give the egg, we have no immediately control over that. So sometimes the egg to be destroyed by the other birds, and and sometimes because of that reason we'll see that the egg collection, which is the prime business objective, it damage that situation. So layer house in which we keep the birds over 18 weeks of age, and usually up to 72 weeks of the age we are keeping them. It means this is the 72 weeks, that is the time actually. We can say that around 2.5 years, we can say like that. So that is the time actually. That is the time up to that will 15 to 18 months we are keeping these birds, because the prolificity or giving egg, that laying capacity is up to that. And after that the laying capacity of birds decline line, everything, anything. That's why we will send them out of the poultry farm for and we can consume them as a chicken. So that is the time period when we have the highest in between that. 18 weeks to will start that period start, and it will up to the 72 weeks. That is the highest that period which we have the maximum collection from these birds. And we know that the it's a 24 to 25, 26 hours it will receive the eggs from the birds. Then only we can say that the poultry farm is giving 80% or 90% or like that, that laying capacity. And then that is very much required for the economic viability of the business. Now we have a broiler house in which broilers are reared up to 6 weeks of age. These are the houses where we'll keep the broilers for the 6 weeks if we have the separate that grows. Now the breeder house, these are also generally we'll find these kind of houses in the hatcheries where they are maintaining their parental stock. They build the breeder house also, in which both male and female breeders are maintained at appropriate sex ratio. That we know that the within it is on and around 10%. It means with 90% that female will we are keeping the cock up to 10%. So that ratio is very much required in the breeder house. And this breeder house is generally you will see that the poultry farm those who are having the parental stock, and they are supplying egg to the fertilized egg to the hatcheries. In that case, they have this kind of that breeder house there. Environmentally controlled house in which the entire environment is manipulated in such a way that it optimum or for the bird growth. That environmentally controlled that housing is very much important, and it is having its own impact. That if we build a house like that, then in adverse condition we can save the birds. If there is adversities in the environment against that, we can keep these birds in these houses, and then we can sustain their normal growth and development. So these are the important the types that we have discussed over here. Now we'll have another discussion on the optimum environmental conditions for rearing the broilers. This is specifically for broilers that what kind of that environmental that things are required. So let us have a look on that one by one. We'll discuss. So temperature in between that 22 to 30 degrees centigrade, and it is on and around 70. It will check in Fahrenheit. It's 70 to 85 degree Fahrenheit. This is the temperature which is being required in the brooder house of the for the broilers. Then relative humidity, it is minimum side 30% and maximum side 60%. In between, if it is maintained, then it is very much suitable for the proper growth and development of the chicks, those to whom we are rearing for the broilers. Then ammonia level, because we know that in broilers the proper ventilation is very much required, because we allow them at least sometimes in initial stages 24 hours we force them to take the consume the feed through by lighting in the brooder house. So in that case, there is lot of that digestive activity among the birds, and ultimately the result is the ammonia level within the environment. If we are not able to maintain that environment level of ammonia in the in the in the in the, in the in on and around the birds, so if we have to maintain that 25 ppm, it is the ideal situation where we can have ammonical ammonical presence in the environment. If it is more than it damage the bird. So let us have kept below the 25 parts per million. Now litter moisture. We know that there are certain challenges like coccidiosis and chronic respiratory disease (CRD). They are mostly because of the litter borne. They are being named as a litter borne disease. So we for that for to avoid that kind of situation, we have to maintain the litter moisture up to 15 to 25%. So it means the proper that that we have to change the litter if it is more moist, because it can the it may be favorable for the for the disease like coccidiosis, because there are certain that in the moisture, if it is higher, if the litter is high in moisture, because they do their droppings on, because the broilers, they, when they run here and there, they spread the the droppings and the broilers in the litter. So in that case, what happens when the litter moist and dirt is there, then there are the possibility of spread of protozoal infections in the litter, and then they may they may further uh, spread into the chicks, and that affects the entire business. So coccidiosis is the disease which is litter-borne disease, and we have to avoid that situation. We have to control the litter moisture, and we have to maintain it in between the 15 to 25% if it is possible. Otherwise, it is going to affect the environment at that the economic activity of the farms, because if there is a coccidiosis, then we will see that the poor laying is there, and sometimes it will not control through the proper medication, then we'll see the bird mortality in a huge amount. So that is why we have to maintain the litter moisture up to 15 to 25 degrees centigrade. Then the airflow, that because we have to that can be only possible if we have the controlled that environmental, that kind of housing. But anyway, we have to. That's why we have to cap this thing in our mind while we are selecting the site and building the building. That there should be a proper ventilation arrangement. So generally, when the scientific recommendation is that we have to maintain the 10 to 30 meter airs per minute. That kind of that housing is ventilated housing is recommended for the poultry farming. So these are the optimum environmental conditions for rearing the broilers. They are the strictly. After that, if we have, because broilers we cap them a maximum up to 8 weeks in our home. So that is the ideal situation, that the temperature, relative humidity, ammoniacal level, litter size, and airflow, that the scientifically being recommended, which we have discussed. Now, what are actually the housing principles that we'll discuss one by one. So, number one, the housing orientation, the direction. In what direction we have to build the houses? That we have to cap that poultry house should be located in such a way that the long axis in east-west directions, because the maximum that the lighting and that light to be available to the farm, that we have to keep in our mind, that the entry of the poultry farm to be in the east-west direction. This will prevent the direct sunshine over the birds. It will prevent the direct sunshine, but the maximum that light to be available to the birds. Now the size. Each broiler one require 1 square feet of floor space, while a layer required 2 square feet of floor space under deep litter system, when we are keeping the birds under the deep litter system. So the size of house depend upon the number of birds to be reared. If we have 10,000 birds, then we require the definitely higher, bigger size of the building. But if we have 1,000 or 2,000, then you multiply this minimum requirement. For boilers, we required 1 feet, 1 square feet, and for layers, a thumb rule is like that. The 2 feet square feet is required for the layer birds. So keeping all these things in our mind, we have to arrange the bird the space on the basis of that we have to build because overcrowding in any condition to be avoided, because it destroys so many things. It sometimes hurt the harmony in between the birds, and so because of that infighting, they create, there are so many problems, because in broilers we are also not doing debeaking. So the problematic, we will see the problematic birds. Sometimes the strong birds, they are not allowing the feeding to other birds, and they are disturbing them. So that kind of situation, to avoid that, we have to give the proper space, that already being discussed with us, that the thumb rule is that 1 square feet for broilers, and then the 2 square feet for layers. Then the length of house can be extended up to any extent that is the availability of the land you have with you. The number of birds reared and availability of the land determines the length of the poultry house. That we can see that. The width we can have, but there. The open the open-sided poultry houses in tropical countries should have a width about 22 to 25 feet. This is the general, that 22 to 25 or 30 feet maximum, that in order to allow the ample ventilation and aeration at the mid portion. Sheds wider than this will not provide adequate ventilation during the hot weather. If the width of the shed is more than 25 feet, there is ventilation at middle line of the, that we see, if the will enhance the width of the house, and in between the house we'll see that the proper ventilation, it's very difficult for us. So that's why the maximum height should not be increased. If it is possible, we have to maintain that the width of the poultry farm to be on and around 25 feet. Hot air and obscene gases, which are lighter than air, move upward and escape through the rigid ventilation. In environmentally controlled poultry houses, the width of house may be even 40 feet or more, since the ventilation is controlled with the, yes, if we are controlling the ventilation, then it's okay. Otherwise, if we are habitating the birds in a natural environment, and we don't have any control over the ventilation, then we are not supposed to increase the width of more than 25 feet. Otherwise, in commercial means, if we are controlling if we have arrangement of controlling the ventilation, then we can increase the width up to the 40 feet. Now the height. The height of sides from foundation to roof should be 6 to 7 feet, and at the center 10 to 12 feet. So we have to build the conical structure that from sides to 6 7 feet height is sufficient, but in between we have to maintain that height up to 10 to 12 feet, or it may increase up to the 15 feet. In the cases of cage houses, the height is decided by the type of cage arrangements we have, three tier, 4 tier, what kind of the housing we have fixed in the cage system, and that height to be decided on the basis of the system which we have adopted for the cages to the birds. Now the foundation will the good foundation is essential to prevent seepage of water into the poultry shed. The foundation of house should be concrete with 1 to 1.5 feet below the surface and 1 to 1.5 above the ground level. That is to be required for the safety, and unnecessary that the seepage and unnecessary that moisture inside the poultry farm. Then the floor should be made of concrete with rat proof device, because that is very much required, free from dampness not to be there. The floor of the house should be extended 1.5 feet outside the wall of both the sides to prevent rat and other, because we have to use the anti-rat, that pesticide, to avoid that rat entry inside the house. Now then, doors. The doors must be open outside in case of deep litter poultry houses. The size of door is preferably 6 to 2.5 feet, which is normal. If we are building the poultry house, we have to build we can take up to 6 to 7 feet that height, and 2 to 3 feet, 2.5 to 3.5 feet that width. This is in between. So if we build, we will that proper that and but at the entry we have to arrange that footpath, and which is very much required, because we know that the birds, the section is very much sensitive. If the unwanted people enters inside the birds for various that reasons, sometimes we allow them to enter into, although the entry of that the the unwanted people to be avoided in the shed. But if at all we are allowing them, then at least we have to manage this thing, that the footpath to be there, so that kind of unnecessary spread, because in deep litter system This is a very serious. This will become a very serious issue. That's why we have to keep this thing in our mind that the door we have to provide the that provision of this. We have to make arrange, and we have to give the provision of that footpath, and to disinfect the person those who are entering in the cages. Then the side wall should be 1 and 1.5 feet height, and generally at the level of bird's back height. This side wall protects the birds during the rainy days or chill the climate, although provides sufficient ventilation. In case of the cage houses, no side wall is needed. In the case of the cage houses, there is no need of the side wall, because because we are keeping the birds in the cages. Now the roof of poultry house may be thatched, titled, tiled. We can keep with the asbestos sheet sometime, or concrete one, depending upon the cost involvement. Different type of roofs are available, as a shed, gable, half monitor, full monitor, that flat concrete, Campbell, Gothic, etc. Campbell type is mostly preferred in the Cable type is probably preferred in the tropical countries like India. This is the recommendation for the roof. Now overhang. The overhang of roof should not be less than 3.5 feet in order to prevent the entry of rainwater. That we have to, because that 3.5 feet we have to increase from the side walls. That is very much important to avoid that rain. Sometimes the cross rain, sometimes the rain with the haphazard, that hurricane system, that unnecessary, that water, that entry of the rain inside the shed, so that to be avoided. Now light should be provided at 7 to 8 feet above the ground level, must be hanged from ceiling. Incandescent bulbs are used. The interval between two bulbs is 10 feet, which is ideally recommended. In case of the fluorescent or tube light, or sometimes the interval is about to be 15 feet. So that thing is required, and we know that in the boilers we are providing the lighting more than 24 hours in initial stages. Then if we find that the growth and development of the birds in a desirable direction, then only we can reduce the timing of lighting. Otherwise, we initially will provide them the lighting up to 24 hours. Then the system of housing, at least in last, we are discussing the what kind of system we are having in the poultry housing. Poultry can be housed under different systems based on the following factors: availability of land, cost of land, type of farming activity, climatic conditions, labor availability. These are the basis actually. On the basis of that, we can build the house, and we'll find the availability of land is very much important. Then the cost of land is also important, because entire thing depend upon that how much we have in our kitty, so to purchase the land. Then the type of farming, that what kind of activity we are going to be enforce over there. So if we have broilers, then we definitely we require the different kind of that. If we are going for the layers, if we are going for the hatchery, so that kind of that. If we are going for the breeding houses, then we require the different kind of that the housing. So type of farming activity, it depends upon. If we are going for the poultry bird, then it is okay. If we are going for duck farming, if we are going for the ducks, then it's a different kind of that housing we require. Then the climatic condition, they are also very much important. That if in the hilly area, we require the different kind of that temperature control which is required in for initial stages. Then we require the different kind of that housing system in the desert area, because in desert area we know that the temperature is going rising more than 42 degrees centigrade. So in that case, the entire bird will die because of the heat frustrations. So in that case, we have to have that kind of that arrangement, that we maintain the temperature about 32 degree Fahrenheit, 32 degrees centigrade, or even less than that. So because we know that the room temperature is the ideal situation, on and around 5 degree plus or minus is the requirement. So that the climatic conditions, that humidity, that all the things, so on the basis of that will build the house. Now we know that the labor availability is one of the prime that requirement before building the houses, because if the labor is not available at a cheaper rate, then how will run the house? poultry in a economic viability manner. So now looking to all these things, broadly poultry housing system are classified among three systems. Number one, free range or extensive system. This was initially when the when the in the ancestors era, we'll see that the ancient era will see that the poultry it's a free range system. There is no the demarcation of the boundary or anything. This system is nowadays almost over because in the wildlife it is okay, but now in natural in commercial means that system is being outdated, and because this system is not fit as far as the business is concerned, because here we have no control over the birds where they are going at where they are giving the eggs, and we cannot protect them with the natural that the enemies of the birds. So that kind of that free range system or extension system nowadays being outdated, and nobody is using, and in any other country that will not find this kind of arrangement. Now semi-intensive system, here we have the open area for in backyard poultry. We will have this kind of arrangement at our at in our country. We'll see that where the people they are keeping the birds for the domestic use only. They are not selling the eggs, they are not selling the chicks, the birds for the chicken purpose, but they are keeping the birds for their family consumption. So in that case, they are keeping the birds in a box, and then they are allowing them for entire days, and the very little bit of feeding they are giving them in morning or evening. Otherwise, in whole day, these birds they are they are traveling here and there, and whatever the insect pest or whatever the natural that thing which is available in the environment, they are consuming that thing. So that is the thing to whom we are calling the semi-intensive system. Now, in commercial means, we have only that the intensive system, and under the intensive system, where we are keeping the birds intensively, and we have one thing in our mind that we have to earn the profit from these birds. So that is the thing which is generally being addressed in the intensive system. So here we have a three type of that incentive intensive system. Number one is deep litter system, second one is slatted floor system, and then the slat cum litter system. So deep litter system, this is widely being used in all over the country, where we have a small number of birds for commercial meals. For example, if we have a 2,000, 3,000, or 5,000 birds in the poultry, and we are doing the layer business, layer we are keeping them as a layer. So we'll build a house accordingly, and we are keeping them on the litter. And litter is generally the we are using the sawdust or rice bran as a litter, and we are providing this litter up to the 5 to 6 inches in the in the depth. So that kind of that litter system we are having, and we have to change this litter after that 15 weeks of time, and we with the introduction of new birds, definitely we have to have a new that litter, and that litter is very much used in the farming as a manure. So that is why that we have the simultaneous arrangement when we are introducing new birds. Then we have to arrange this thing, that we have to keep this thing in our mind, that how we are using. Then the slatted float system is also there, where when we are keeping on the bamboos or iron bamboos, iron rods, that we are arranging simultaneously, and we are using the bird, we are keeping the birds on them. Slatted floor, it means that we are making arrangement. It's a floor above the floor, so that is kind of thing, that the entire that the droppings will be going down the slats which we have. Then the set clump litter, that the half of the area we have the slatted thing, and then we have the litter also. That three type of that system we are having. So now that we are reaches to the end of this session, and now I'm very much thankful that at least you have kept your patience. So I'll conclude with that. Today we have discussed the things which we have started from the beginning, that we have learned the principles and the site and the housing arrangement in the poultry housing. Then we have gone through that what kind of that type of the houses which we required, and selection of location we have also discussed. We have also discussed the layout for the poultry farming. Then we have discussed the different type of poultry houses, that grower house, brooder house. Then we'll know the brooder cum grower, layer house, then breeder house also, then environmentally controlled house. These all are the buildings those who are being constructed in poultry farming. Then we have discussed the principles of the poultry housing, that housing, size, length, width, height, foundation, floor, and doors, side walls, roof, overhanging, then the lighting. Then we have discussed the systems of poultry housing, that can be housed on different systems based upon the following factor, that the land, the cost of land, the type of farming activity, climatic condition, labor availability. All these are the factors. On the basis of that, we'll build the poultry housing. And then finally we'll go through the name of the systems those who are being available. The free range system, where there, or extensive system, this is nowadays outdated, because initially in nature the poultry being habitat like that. But because of the disadvantages, that we cannot control anything in the system, that's why the system was nowadays outdated. Then we have a semi-intensive system. This system is generally being available in the backyard party for poultry farming, where we are not going for the commercial purpose. We are just keeping the birds for our domestic use. So in that case, we have not more than 100 of birds like that. So in that case, we are arranging them in a boxes, and then we are allowing them entire day in the free that can movement in allowed in a certain restricted area. Then we have a three, that intensive system, deep litter system, slatted system, and the slat cum deep litter system. So thank you very much for participating in the lecture.